So I want to start tonight off with a question. Does anyone else here have problems maintaining imaginary boundaries? No. Okay. Well, do you have any imaginary friends growing up? Yeah? Care to share the name? Or the description?
Patches.
Patches? What type of thing was Patches?
Lesbian.
You know, the imaginary police were just here looking for no one by that description. I was like, I can't even see you. How am I going to see them? Give me a break. Well, I had an imaginary friend growing up. I created her at 4 years old, and in middle school, she disappeared one day. And I was like, that is the most fucked up side of puberty I've ever seen. But okay, I will move on with my life, and that's fine. So I did. And then a couple weeks ago, she just shows up as if I didn't just turn 40. I'm like, is this a midlife crisis now? What's going on? And she's like, I'm back to play. And I'm like, where have you been? So here's what happened. On that fateful day, she went on an imaginary sleepover with somebody else's imaginary friend without me. And that kid's parents had a kid that went to school with one imaginary friend and then came home with two. They flipped out, and they have been indisposed ever since. So now my imaginary friend is back. Like my therapist doesn't have enough to worry about. I was like, no, you cannot be here. This is considered a setback. This is a no. And she's like, well, what about your kids? I could be their imaginary friend. I'm like, I already get enough phone calls from the school. They started this year out with no imaginary friends. That would be a phone call. No, absolutely not. Boundary is set. No. So I moved on. We're good, right? Boundary set, done. Then my son comes up to me. And he's like, hey, Mom, do you know about Bruno? And no, I didn't know about Bruno. So I said to him, we don't talk about Bruno. And he was like, we don't talk about Bruno. I'm like, no, there's not a theme song, stop. And yes, so now my female imaginary friend that I created when I was 4 thinks that I'm trying to kill her. So I asked her, does anyone else have any trouble, maintaining imaginary boundaries? How much time do I have? 1 minute. Okay, I have one more for you. So this is not a joke I wrote, but it's a joke I love, so I'm going to share it. One day, a neutron walks into a bar. The bartender is a proton, and he says, what can I get for you? The neutron's like, okay, I'll take your finest glass of water. Okay, here it is. And the neutron says, thank you so much. What do I owe you? The proton says, for you, no charge. The neutron says, oh, thank you so much. Are you sure? And the proton says, no, I'm positive. I'm on the Swan. Thank you so much.